We're going to get on the topic of Ilya Kovalchuk, of course. Yesterday, he just signed a deal back to play for his hometown, St. Petersburg, in the KHL. Now, your reaction to him leaving the way he did with the National Hockey League and the New Jersey Devils, and then signing yesterday in the K.
Great for New Jersey. You know what? If he wants to go back and play in his home country, so be it. I mean, New Jersey just rid themselves of a ton of salary, and you know, really got them out of, I guess, salary constriction. And you know, that's great for New Jersey, one of my favorite teams in the East. And I mean, I'm happy for them. They can actually, you know, maybe go out and pick up 2 or 3 guys for, maybe 4 guys for the amount of money they're going to pay him.
Kovalchuk's contract is like that country music song, "What Was I Thinking?" You know, and that was it for him. Like, what was Jersey thinking when they signed him to that contract? And now all of a sudden he wants to leave. It's like, oh, thank God. You know, and you know it's going to be a short-term pain right now for New Jersey, because you don't replace the kind of skill that he can bring on a given night. Not every night, but on a given night, he can score a big goal for you. And he did it in a good playoff run a couple of years ago for Jersey. He carried that team through a couple of rounds.
So I guess it's not necessarily a selfish thing, but do you feel this is going to be a trickle-down effect? This is going to worry the NHL a little bit. He's not the only Russian player who's done this. So do you fear that, say, Yevgeny Malkin might head down? Do you fear any of the other popular Russian players would head down? There's very few of them as is.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened more and more often.
Not even just them, say Europeans.
Well, I
European
think
players.
you're going to see more and more of this, and it sucks for the NHL. You put your eggs in that basket, and you're hoping this Russian is going to pay off for you, any European, and they could pull out anytime. You know, there's got to be some kind of legal means of making sure this doesn't happen.
You know what? Malkin hasn't gone yet. I don't see Malkin going until maybe later on in his career.
Yeah.
Well, he's certainly have a love affair with the Federation of Hockey out in Russia.
Yeah.
They love each other, I'll tell you that much, right?
But, I mean, maybe some of the younger guys coming through. I mean, I don't think you'll see a Nail Yakupov go. I mean, I think he's going to stay around for a long time. Maybe some of your other guys, you know, may want to go, you know, later in their careers, but I mean, I don't see it for happening. It's going to happen, but I don't see your big name guys. And I think general managers in the NHL are going to be a little bit more leery about signing these guys to long-term contracts.
Hockey Hall of Fame. You had Scott Niedermayer, Chris Chelios, Brendan Shanahan, Geraldine Henney, and Fred Shero as your inductees. Any complaints, or is there someone that you might want to replace, bring in?
It still bugs me about Pat Burns. This is the second time he's been. They had an opportunity when this guy was alive to do the right thing, and now it's almost after the fact, and it's, to me, it's totally unjust that he's not in there.
Could have made the same argument for Fred Shero.
True enough. Yeah, I just thought Pat Burns is a real nice pick, you know, and he's done a lot. Freddie, why it took Freddie this long to get in, that's kind of surprised me too.
I think they made all the right choices there. I do agree with you, Greg, on Pat Burns. You know, they got to find a way to get him in there next year. And I mean, he's an incredible coach that should be in there. Not taking anything away from Fred Shero. I mean, Fred revolutionized the game at his point in time, as other coaches did during their times. Pat Burns was another guy. You know, it was definitely time for Fred to get in there. Player-wise, I think maybe the only guy that I'd like to see in there from a former goalie standpoint is Curtis Joseph.
Yeah.
I mean, 400-plus wins. And, yeah, no Stanley Cups to speak of, but, I mean, you know what? He, other than Martin Brodeur, he's the only other 400-win goalie that isn't in there. And Brodeur will be in there 3 years after he retires.
Mm-hmm. Or if not sooner. Eric Lindros is probably one. That I know people are saying, well, his career was cut short, but if you still look at his numbers are as good as a lot of guys that are in the Hall of Fame right now. Eric had bashed a lot more from his agents, better known as Mom and Dad, really wrecked things for him a lot in Philadelphia, in Quebec, you name it, wherever he went. Bonnie, the difference between Bonnie and a pit bull is lipstick, So it's like, and you know that didn't bode well for him down his career. So.
Riders are 3-0, very much like last year. Can they carry that momentum this year minus Darian Durant? Because he's day-to-day. He might be playing on Sunday against Hamilton, but if not, are we going to see them lose? Are they at that same level they were last year, or have they changed at all?
Oh, I think they're a better team than they were last year at this point in time. And you know what? You go through that adversity last year that they did. Any of them guys coming back, they've learned. And you know, I'm not a huge Rough Riders fan, but I will tell you that I do think that are they going to keep running off win after win after win without him? No, but you know what? Team-wise, they're a better team this year than they were last year.
Don't get a lot of Riders news in Calgary, surprising. So I don't really know the status of Durant.
They said that he's got a walking boot on. He possibly could practice later in the week.
Yeah.
But
But doubtful for the weekend. Okay.
For the weekend game.
Like Drew Willie's going to step in, and Drew Willie was decent last year. He wasn't fantastic. He's a little more mobile than some of the other quarterbacks they have in camp. I like them against Hamilton because their defense is a lot better than it was last year. They have rush. They have actually guys that can actually pressure the quarterback and force him out of the pocket and then force him to make a bad pass.
The best part is you have a guy named number 1 Corey Sheets
He's been
in the
awesome,
backfield who's on pace for 2,600 yards. Don't know if he'll get there, but he's been a man on the tear.
And you like to see a little more out of Jock Sanders too. Like you haven't seen a lot out of Jock so far, and they were talking about this 1-2 combination. That's the reason why Sheets is wearing 1 and he's wearing 2 is because they're calling themselves a 1-2 combination. But you haven't only seen a lot of 1. You haven't seen a lot of 2.
But he's done well on special teams. I'll say that.
Yeah.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we have Over Under next.